gas station explosion case sentencing.
French raids carried out last night. Hi, I'm Amr Mansour.
And I'm Melissa Lambert, and this is Public Eye News. The 18-year-old who was driving without proof of insurance and created a gas station explosion in Hancock was sentenced today. Diego Cabarella pleaded guilty to 1 misdemeanor count of driving while impaired and failure to report an accident. While 1 count of operating while impaired was dropped, he was sentenced to 6 days in jail and probation. Police say he crashed into a Ford pickup truck at a Holiday gas station in Hancock, causing the truck to hit a gas pump that started a fire back in September. A restitution hearing is scheduled for January to determine what he owes in fees to the gas station. The WNMU Public Relations Student Society of America held their 4th annual Hometown Taste-Off Monday. PRSSA invites 7 different pizza restaurants to the event and have guests taste and eventually choose the best pizza. Not only does the winning restaurant receive bragging rights, but the event raises money for PRSSA and the WNMU Culinary School. Alexandria Watson, the campaign chair for the Hometown Taste-Off, said that this gives students the experience on how to run events and how to work as a team. The big winner was Jess Pizza, with the Dry Dock coming in second.
2 alumni returned to Northern to talk about their success in entertainment. She's not Angelina Jolie, but Angelina Fiordelli and Nikki Nanos both held a workshop on campus today. Both women graduated from Northern in the groovy 70s and later won Tony Awards as TV producers. The alumni answered questions and discussed challenges and opportunities in entertainment. Both hope they can help students understand what their future may look like. And this holiday season, billions of deliveries are expected to take place. The UPS store here in Marquette has already started shipping holiday gifts. They expect there to be about 15 billion letters, parcels, and cards to be sent out. About 600 million of those are expected to be shipped out between Thanksgiving and New Year's. Last year, the UPS store helped 2,700 people, but this year that number is expected to double. Post office workers encourage you to send mail early to ensure they reach in time.
U.S. District Judge Nancy Edmonds dismissed a motion to challenge a case on Michigan's policy for transgender drivers. Edmonds found that the plaintiffs raised a reasonable claim about their constitutional rights to privacy being violated by state policy that makes it difficult to change the gender recorded on their driver's licenses. The Secretary of State's office requires that the information listed on a person's driver's license or ID must match the information on their birth certificate, causing transgendered people to have their birth certificates amended. For the Michigan residents involved in the lawsuit, the policy says they must complete surgery, which they have no current medical need for and cannot afford. And on Friday, Governor Rick Snyder decided to suspend efforts to bring Syrian refugees to Michigan due to the terrorist attacks in Paris, which has sparked controversy. Snyder's office released a statement Sunday saying the state would not be accepting any Syrian refugees until the Department of Homeland Security fully reviewed its procedures. This is a step back from his administration's previous efforts and comments offering aid to these refugees. Local Arab American leaders and refugees say they understand the concern for safety, but argued that Homeland Security already does extensive security checks before allowing any refugees into the U.S. And stay tuned, because after the break, we'll be back with your national and international news.
High in a vast cave, stalked by killer bees and tigers. An epic race across the world's greatest grassland. A terrifying rite of passage. Life hangs in the balance.
Wednesday evening at 8 o'clock Eastern.
And welcome back. Since the devastating attack in Paris, many Americans are now concerned about their own safety. Many Americans worry if public places like local cafes or theaters will be the next target. However, counterterrorism experts have said well-organized assaults are less likely to attack the U.S., mostly because of our intelligence programs. But many still worry of a lone wolf attacker who may harm for his own ideas. People worry that some of the soft targets could be schools, malls, and even sporting events. U.S. intelligence continues as the threats are becoming more severe. French security forces carried out more than 100 raids overnight as the frantic manhunt for suspects in the Paris terror attacks intensified. Jonathan Vigliotti has the latest from Paris.
Police seized a car with Belgian license plates this morning in northern Paris that may be linked to the terror attacks. Several of the terrorists have ties to Belgium, including the suspect who got away, 26-year-old Salah Abdeslam. Overnight, security forces carried out more than 100 raids in France and Belgium. Police seized weapons and arrested more than a dozen suspects. Adil Arabi hopes the police catch the attackers who are still on the run. He was in the Bataclan theater when terrorists struck Friday night. He broke down as he told us he was separated from his girlfriend who was shot in the shoulder. I feel so bad, he said, like a coward for leaving her. Some Parisians are still on edge and many are angry about what happened here. A group of French Muslims has started a social media campaign to condemn the attacks.
And what they did is terror, and this is not the Islam I'm practicing.
Islamic militants claimed responsibility for the attacks, which killed 129 people. France is demanding its European allies support military action against ISIS. Secretary of State John Kerry, who met Tuesday with French President Hollande, says more needs to be done.
We have to step up our efforts to hit them at the core, where they're planning these things.
For a second day, French warplanes slammed ISIS targets in Syria. Jonathan Vigliotti, CBS News, Paris.
Severe weather is on its way, and the evidence is in the patterns of other regions. Colorado was hit with a heavy snowstorm Tuesday, and tornadoes threatened millions of people in Texas. Many highways in Colorado are closed because of blizzard conditions, and dozens of vehicles were stranded in the morning rush hour closure, only for them to be reopened. At least 5 tornadoes touched down in the panhandle of Texas yesterday, and the National Weather Service has issued a tornado watch until late this afternoon. The storm that originated in the Gulf of Alaska could be an effect of El Nino, which is an ocean warming phenomenon that will most likely bring heavy rain to the west soon. And actor Charlie Sheen says he has the virus that causes AIDS. The former star of the CBS show 2.5 Men revealed his HIV status during a live morning television interview. Hannah Daniels has the story.
The turning point.
Actor Charlie Sheen ended days of rumors by telling NBC's Matt Lauer that he is HIV positive.
I thought I had a brain tumor. I thought it was over. After a battery of tests and spinal taps, all that crap, they walked in the room and said, boom.
Sheen, who's 50, says he was diagnosed 4 years ago, about the same time he was fired as lead actor of the CBS sitcom 2.5 Men for his erratic behavior.
I mean, what's not to love? It's my life. Winning.
Sheen has a history of substance abuse and bad behavior, including highly publicized liaisons with prostitutes. He has been married 3 times and has 5 children. He says he told his ex-wives about his diagnosis and has been on HIV medications, which have made his viral load undetectable.
Have you had unprotected sex on any occasion since your diagnosis?
Yes, but the 2 people that I did that with were under the care of my doctor, and they were completely warned ahead of time.
Sheen says people who knew of his status have blackmailed him and that he's paid out millions to keep them quiet. He says he hopes his statement will reduce the stigma of HIV. Hannah Daniels for CBS News, New York.
Russian officials have determined the plane crash in Egypt was indeed a terrorist attack. Russia's security service said a homemade explosive device was used to bring down the Russian plane. 224 people were killed in the crash last month, and ISIS already claimed responsibility. Experts have said the device was used essentially had the equivalent of 1 kilo of TNT. A $50 million reward has been offered for information leading to the arrest of those responsible. And after the break, we'll be back with your weather and sports. Stay tuned.
We face a future of uncharted possibilities. What if the brain could do more? What if there were other ways for it to operate?
We're marrying our biology with our technology, and that's poised to transform who we will be. What if the study of the brain could address our mortality? What if in the future we didn't have to die?
Join us Wednesday evening at 10.
Hello, welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Eric Shapiro with a look at your weather. As you can see behind me, the sun has dipped behind the clouds, but you should still be able to get out there and enjoy it before the snow comes. Currently, it's cloudy with a temperature of 53 degrees, winds south at 19 miles an hour, and a barometric pressure at 29.94 inches and holding. Tonight, we'll have some cloudy skies with a low of 49 and winds south-southeast at 20 miles an hour. Tomorrow, you can expect some rains with a high of 56 and winds south at 26 miles an hour. Across the UP, it's fairly cloudy, except here in Sault Ste. Marie, where it's partly cloudy and 50 degrees. Manistee, 51. Escanaba and Menominee is 52. Iron Mountain is 49. Ironwood is 53. Up in Houghton, it's 54. And back here in Marquette, it's 53 and cloudy. Now let's take a look at our weather ahead. Thursday is a high of 39, low of 27 with some clouds. Friday will be a high of 37, low of 25 and mostly cloudy. Saturday will be a high of 34, low of 24 and some snow in the evening. So Dan, it looks like we had an unexpected game Monday, just like the weather.
It's starting to get to that point where it's a little bit suspect, and the Cincinnati Bengals were looking a little suspect last night. Only 2 NFL teams remain undefeated, and unfortunately, the Cincinnati Bengals are not among them. The Texans were the perfect team to give the Bengals their first loss on their home field in a big Monday Night Football game, no less. The Texans have a way of doing that to the Bengals, especially when TJ Yates is running the offense. Yates took over in the third quarter after Brian Hoyer sustained a concussion, and he led Houston to a 10-6 victory by throwing a touchdown pass to DeAndre Hopkins that knocked the Bengals out of the ranks of the NFL's unbeaten. Yates beat the Bengals twice as a rookie in the 2011 season, including a first-round playoff win that was the Texans' first victory in the postseason. Andre Drummond is putting up eye-popping numbers, though they haven't availed him to criticism from his coach as the Detroit Pistons return home, looking to end a 4-game slide. The Cleveland Cavaliers probably won't be in too good a mood as well after LeBron James was slightly critical of their play. Both of the Cavaliers' losses have come on the road against Central Division opponents, and they'll try to avoid that same fate Tuesday night against Drummond and the Pistons. Andre Drummond is currently averaging 18.5 points along with a league-best 19 boards. Cleveland will match him up with the second-best rebounder in the league, Kevin Love, who averages 12.1 boards a game. Tip-off is tonight at 7:30 in the Palace of Auburn Hills. And Deonta Davis spent some time defending prize Kansas recruit Chieg Diallo in the United Center floor during the McDonald's All-American game in April as Diallo earned MVP honors and led his squad to victory. Davis and his Michigan State teammates won't have to worry about Diallo on Tuesday night when the 13th-ranked Spartans take on the number 4 Jayhawks in the Champions Classic in Chicago, but the freshman will see plenty of minutes against a Kansas front court that still possesses plenty of talent. Michigan State's Gavin Schilling is out indefinitely with a toe injury, and teammate Marvin Clark is missing time while recovering from a stress reaction in his left foot. This means Michigan State will be down men to deal with Kansas's big front court and will need to have extra board support tonight at 10 p.m. Well, I'll say, Amr, Michigan State definitely they just can't throw away this game tonight against Kansas. Yeah, that's true. But I hear there's a man, who needed to probably throw away his sandwich instead of doing what he did with it.
Dan, it's a pretty intense story. Let me tell you about it.
All right.
Talk about your food fights, guys. A New Jersey man faces charges for throwing a sandwich at another man at a Virginia pizza restaurant. After throwing the sandwich, the man drove off, but the victim of the sandwich attack chased after him. The victim tailed the sandwich thrower until police arrived and arrested him. While the victim was unharmed, the sandwich did not survive. Guys, it's a real waste of a bologna sandwich, right? And what I don't understand is why was he getting a sandwich at a pizza restaurant? When I go to Pizza Hut, I don't get a bologna sandwich.
No, usually when you go to a pizza restaurant, you're there either for 2 things, the pizza or the breadsticks.
Oh, the breadsticks, the Little Caesars breadsticks.
So
I'm
true.
not trying to advertise, but those are good. No, those are good. But it's a really sad story, Our good sandwich went to waste. Prayers are out to the family and everything. Well, looks like that's all the time we have for on Public Eye News. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television.